Hi, it's Laura. Welcome to 50 and Starting a Business. However, today I'm going to be talking about the 15 best jobs for teens. And I'm saying that because I've been doing some research because I've got 14 teenagers at home. No, I have 4. It feels like 14 sometimes. And I'm often looking for things that they can do. And I have to give lots of suggestions because they like to say no to almost anything I say. So let's get started. Job number 1, I think, would only be of interest to my littlest of my triplets. He doesn't mind me saying that, by the way. He's not going to stay little, but right now he's 5 feet. The next triplet is a girl, and she's 5'8", and the other boy is 5'10". So for now, he's my smallest. He takes after me, and he hasn't grown yet. But it is a kennel assistant. So you can be a kennel assistant at an animal shelter or a veterinary clinic or like a doggy daycare. He loves animals, and he's so helpful with our animals that I think it would be the perfect opportunity for him. Number 2, I was trying to get my oldest to do this, Gavin, fast food attendant. I love McDonald's, love it. No, it's not good for you. I was that parent that said, my kids aren't gonna eat fast food. And then I was really hungry and I was like, oh my God, I can use a quarter pounder with cheese. I grew up loving McDonald's. My father loves McDonald's. He's 85 years old. He loves to sneak off and get a sausage egg McMuffin. I'm not a big fan of sausage egg McMuffins, but I do like their pancakes with the sausage and you put the syrup all over it. Thankfully, my kids play tennis. We go to tennis tournaments, so I get a lot of McDonald's options. But anyway, fast food attendant. So unfortunately, the McDonald's for us is about 15, 20-minute drive. I pass it a lot when I go to the tennis, but it would be hard for my son, who doesn't drive yet and won't for a couple of years, to get to McDonald's. But yeah, there are a lot of opportunities. Obviously, McDonald's is not the only fast food joint. It just happens to be my favorite. But yeah, if there's one in your area, it is a great job for teens. They pay well. I also feel that it's good for kids to learn hard work. I had a paper route in the mornings before school because I wanted a Patagonia jacket when they first came out back in the, I guess, early 80s. They came out east. Sadly, paper routes don't exist anymore, but that was a good option. Number 3 is a grocery store cashier. Grocery stores are pretty much all over the place. Everybody needs groceries and food to cook dinner and have lunch. So oftentimes people are looking for grocery store cashiers. Next is a car wash attendant. I think that would be fun in the summertime, in the spring. I guess it depends what state you live in, since this could be viewed anywhere. In New Jersey, I don't think it's a really desirable job, December through April or March. But yeah, car wash attendant. Car wash attendants pay very well, and you also can get tips in car wash, so that's helpful. Restaurant host or hostess. I had a lot of friends that did that, as teenagers in college, right after college. Some who were trying to be actors and actresses would, work at restaurants as a host or hostess to, get some extra money to get the bills paid. This would be a good one. Starbucks, although not Starbucks, a barista. So obviously you can be a barista more than just Starbucks. I love Dunkin' Donuts too. So Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, there's Rook Coffee out here. I'm just talking about what's local to me. There are a lot of coffee shops all over the place. So that's a nice one. Lifeguard. So you think, oh, she's crazy. This is a job for teens. It's not summer all year round. But, there's a lot of pools. I have a lot of friends who kids are on swim teams, and those pools need lifeguards. Pools also have free swim time, which need lifeguards. And there's, little small clinics, learn to swim clinics that also require lifeguards. I haven't been to the movies in forever. I find their seats crazy and comfortable for my back, but a concession stand worker. Now, again, I'm mentioning movies, but I know our high school has a concession stand. I think it's usually filled with volunteers, but concession stand at football games, college campuses, probably not the local high school. They're probably not paid. Amusement parks have concession stands, as well as the circus, or, in the summertime, they have the fairgrounds have concession stands. This one's easy. This is a no-brainer. You don't need me to tell you, but a retail sales associate. So whether you're at Best Buy or the Gap, Hollister, I'm not sure what's popular with kids these days, but they could find a store that they really like going to anyway and become a retail sales assistant associate, sorry. Unfortunately, they'll probably be spending most of their paycheck at that store, but at least it's their money and not yours. So that's always good. And they'll get a discount. A library assistant. So, our local library is pretty small, but there are some larger ones out there where they will hire library assistants. And those people usually just put the books back on the shelves or tidy up around the library. We talked about host or hostess, but what about a restaurant server? Or you could, instead of working for a restaurant and being a waiter, waitress, or a server, or a busboy, you could also look for catering services that are looking for people, or wedding events, or like an event planner that needs someone to help out at a wedding. This one nobody would ever hire me for, or my kids, but a house cleaner. Listen, I in the neighborhood that we used to live in, there were some very industrious girls that would go around and offer to help, and they would say $20 per hour, and this is what we'll do. I had already hired one that I was working with for months before they came by, but I would have given them a try. I mean, why not? They're industrious, they're looking to work, and usually that's a good sign when a person is proactive, and especially a young person, proactive in reaching out and saying, hey, we'd like to do this. You'll get them at a discount. They'll learn on the job, most likely. You might need to point out a thing or two, but maybe it's, kind of like with any house cleaner that starts off. You're like, oh, can you, make sure this shower gets mold, or, this corner gets dirt, or whatever. You just kind of point things out to the kids. And maybe you don't. Maybe their parents trained them well to be good house cleaners. 13 is a dog walker. I'm looping this in because it came up in one of my other, jobs that you can do. And so dog walker, but you also could be a dog waste picker-upper in yards. My friend pays somebody $25 to come pick up the waste in their yard from their one dog. So if they do that every week for, getting $100 a month, but it takes, I don't know, what is the dog going to the bathroom 7 times? It's probably taking you less than 30 minutes to do that. And you think about it, the dogs usually go in the same place most of the time. So after you do that a couple times, you're going to know exactly where to go, where to pick it up. It's not even going to take you 10 minutes, get $25. And you could do that in the afternoon. Let's say you get like 5 or 6 houses in an hour and a half once a week, you make, $150 or something. Number 4 is babysitter. I was going to say it was going to be a lot cleaner than picking up the dog. And then I had that flash of my kids blow out diapers, the throw up, whatever. A lot of times babysitting can be completely fun, and sometimes it's a little daunting. I babysat for this one family growing up, love them, never had a blowout diaper, really never had an issue. The mom always had the youngest child asleep before I got there, in which case I was a little sad because I wanted to play. But yeah, you can babysit. Babysitting is a very, very good job for a teenager. And the last one is tutor. And my oldest, who's 15, he wants to tutor this summer. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of beef up his skills. He's tutoring his younger brother right now in math. I want him to kind of practice being a tutor and practice learning how to explain things. He's not going to make as much as a regular tutor who, charges anywhere from, it depends where you live, but in our town, our tutor charges $100. I know our friend's tutor in Manhattan charged us $150, which was a discount off of the $200 she used to charge other families, and that was 15 years ago. He's not going to be, a teenager's not going to be making that significant amount of money. But I also feel like going into the SATs, if my son can be an algebra tutor or your child can be a reading tutor, they're just actually reinforcing their skills as well. So to me, being a tutor would be, kind of top of what I would suggest. One of the things that's not on my top 15 that I just thought of, so number 16, you get a bonus. Bonus 16 is a buddy. We had friends of ours, or a family that I knew in Summit. The dad traveled all the time. The mom was around, but there wasn't anyone to play with their one son. So they hired a college student, actually, but you could definitely do it if you're in high school. You probably need to be driving, which in New Jersey, you don't get your license until you're 17. But they paid someone to come play with their kid. He taught him how to surf. He would do lacrosse with him. Buddy. He was like his buddy. Instead of being alone all the time because the parents traveled, he had someone that would go do him these things and would teach him things. You could teach them guitar. But so instead of being a babysitter, because a teenage boy, or let's just say an 8 to 12-year-old boy, although probably technically should have a babysitter if the parents are away. They don't want a babysitter, right? They want someone to hang out with and do things with. So that was something that somebody did that I thought was very, very cool. So those are my now not 15, but 16 opportunities for teenagers. You might need to kind of guide your teenager into having a discussion with, hey, what do you want to do? What do you like? And kind of get them thinking about it, because there are things that kids can do. And I honestly, I did not technically need to have a job growing up. I was very fortunate to the family I was born into. But my parents wanted me to develop a work ethic. So when I wanted something and they didn't think it was necessary, I was told, like, okay, well, you go work and get your own money. And I've always been an early riser. So that's when I started a paper route in 7th grade. And I would do that before school and on the weekends. And I remember such lovely people that I would deliver the paper to. And it made me feel like a sense of accomplishment. And I mentioned earlier, I wanted this Patagonia jacket. And again, I was 13. Thankfully, back then, you wore things that were like huge. So I bought a jacket and it's a pretty big size. It still fits me. It's not in style, but it hangs in my jacket. It hangs in my... Okay. But the jacket still fits me and it hangs in my closet. And it's really a reminder of, if you want something and you work towards it, and you might not, I didn't earn the money in a weekend. I think it took me like a year to earn the money for that jacket. I believe it was $90. And back then minimum wage was like $2.50. Like I remember babysitting for $2. Actually, this woman paid me $1.75 and this other family paid me $2.50. And it was crazy. So yeah, it took me forever to earn the money for that jacket. But I had a goal, and step by step, I worked towards it. And I don't want to say that's the creation of my work ethic, but I was kind of forced into learning how to work, learning how to budget, setting goals, and saving for it. And that's a wonderful skills to teach your kids. So good luck in helping your teenager find a job. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.